What's good? You're listening to Culture Quest, where we ask the question, why are we like this? On this podcast, we explore culture, but culture specific to us as Bahamians, as Black people, as Caribbean people, all that good stuff. I'm MCK, and I'm here with the homie from Time, Jay, and our boy Proof, and we're gonna talk all things us, as always. Shout out to the Solid Network. We like to start off the pod with some fun, with some show and prove. And we like to show, we really about this Bahamian life. We certified, we all Bahamians, and we know about the Bahamian culture. We can prove it. So, we're going to quickly pull the Bahamian card real quick. Like, I'll start off. I don't think I ever not use my exemption from customs when I travel. Like, I'm always going to use that exemption. It's there for us to use, and I am in fact always gonna use it. I've never paid $1 to customs, so I really bought it. But what about y'all?
I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but you really a Bahamian for that. For me, I know all the drip corners for Burnwood. So like all the little small little cuts.
Right.
Like
all of them.
Like if you need to get from Sappadilla, the Buttonwood, I know how to move through the new side. I know what side.
I can vouch for that. He was really out in them streets.
All right, my knowledge of the hood ain't that deep, but I visited all of the Bahamian Islands.
All.
Every single Bahamian island.
All, if not for work, for pleasure.
Even Meguana.
Hold on.
Even Meguana. Bro, I flew into Meguana.
Now you don't want to Meguana for no pleasure, because I don't...
No. I went for work. They have 2 flights in on a week, bro. 2 flights a week. I fly in on a Monday. By midday Monday, I was done with my work. I had nothing else to do until Friday, bro. It was the worst trip ever, boy.
Oh my
worst
God.
I will never go back. Ever go back.
Shout out Meguana. That is not a good plug. It's not a good industry of tourism plug. Right? Let's work on Meguana, y'all. Yeah, but we really about this life.
So hold on, time out. Y'all need to move way past this. So y'all had to go into the Bermuda Triangle and then come out of it. Like how? Meguana?
Meguana.
Wow! Shout out Meguana.
Flew into Meguana.
Shout out Meguana.
We really thought Meguana wasn't
I would never
place.
go back. Let me tell you about it. They don't even have a bank on the island, bro. They do transactions through. Shout out to Island Luck, bro. Shout out to Island Luck.
Let's get that deal. Y'all call us.
Yeah, shout out to Island Luck, bro. They transact through Island Luck, bro. They have a number house on the island, but they don't have a bank on the island. You could ever see some foolishness.
Now, see, that's the same thing I was talking about in that last episode, right? Like who fault that is? That ain't Meguanian's fault. That's what you call them, right?
Nope. It ain't their fault.
It ain't their fault, right? But yeah, shout out Meguana. We could do a show for Meguana one of these times. They have Wi-Fi over there?
Yeah. A little spotty, but yeah.
We'll figure it out.
You better
This episode, for real. This episode today is brought to you by my cousin brother Devon from out east. Today we're talking about nepotism. Is this a Bahamian thing? Is it a bad thing? Does it even matter? Everybody does it, right? We're talking about nepotism today. And for most Bahamians, might be familiar with this concept as curry favoring. But what y'all think nepotism is? What would you define nepotism as?
Before Jay respond, right? Let me hit you with a fun fact out the gate, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a corruption perception index, right, for the Caribbean. On a scale from 1 to 80, out of 0 to 180, out of 180 countries, the Bahamas is ranked 30, right? And on that scale of corruption, nepotism is number 6. This ain't just a Bahamian thing, bro.
Right.
This ain't just a Bahamian thing.
That's interesting. Yeah, for sure.
I thought it was too.
But you say we rank 30th?
We ranked 30th out of 180 countries.
That's kind of scary because, if this 30, I don't really want to know what 10 is.
Fun fact too is there's been no improvement on, because I guess the person responsible for monitoring this, you know, they do it year by year, and there hasn't been any improvement Caribbean wide in the past 10 years.
Wow. Talk about consistency.
That's
That's a
our
good
culture.
fact right there. That's
Yeah.
a good fact right there. So what do you define as like that? Let's start with proof. What do you define as nepotism?
Let me give an example. I hire you not based on your qualifications, but because you my niece, you my son girlfriend, you my mother best friend. You used to babysit me when I was a child. I hire you based on I know you or you know me, not based on qualifications you have.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
What about you, Jay? What would you say is nepotism? That's a pretty accurate definition. Anything you would add to that?
No. And then the thing about it is, I do my Googles. So
Hmm.
Google have it as the act of using power or influence to get jobs or unfair advantages in any form for members of your family or loved ones. So basically, that really is spot on.
Yeah. That unfair is the thing, right? Like that's the biggest thing right there, like the unfair advantage. Because I think
Right.
everybody
Uh,
you gotta look out for your people, right? Like, hey man, we gotta look out, we gotta do something for the mob, right? Like that's cultural too. Like even in my
do
even
something for
like
the mob.
if I live somewhere else and I have an opportunity to hire someone and the applicant's black, I gonna like at least want the black applicant to be good, right? Like obviously like you share certain cultural things because where does it start, where does it end, right? But I think that unfair advantage part, like that's the most important part of nepotism. It ain't
Mm,
just looking out for your boy. It's like this other guy could do it just as good,
mm.
but
Or
I
better.
gonna give or better, but I gonna give it to this other guy that I know because he's my boy. We used to shoot dice together, or he know things about me that I don't want him to tell other people, and you know what I mean, or something
To
like
piggy
that. Like
to piggyback
yeah.
off the last episode, that's probably why Agnes still get a job
Nah, you don't go
for the same
besmirch.
reason.
You're
Agnes
not
is
going to
somebody honorable.
besmirch good Agnes name that she has some information on Brave. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna say she know all the Brave dirty secrets. Okay, but yeah, like that might be why for real. Who knows? But yeah, like I would put it to you that a lot of people in these particularly government positions and not just government positions, as I think about it,
Mm,
it's just a
Across
behaving thing,
countrywide.
right?
Yeah.
Like who have their jobs
mm.
through nepotism. So I want to ask Jay, like, you think there's ever acceptable nepotism ever acceptable, or like, is there a unique situation where yo this makes sense?
Yeah. I mean, before I read that definition and I saw unfair, I was team nepotism. I was team neppy. Because it's like you say, if you see a black applicant or something that you're the hiring officer, you would want to help your own. So I feel like that innate wants to help the person close to us. There's something in our culture, and then we got to look at it like this: because we such close knit people as a country in general, and geography wise, it's like ain't like much land separating us. Not only 21/7, and then these family islands because they're so developed. The town center only so much, so everything is close knit. So we always have a close knit culture, whereas people that ain't family still feel like family, you know.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
whereas you can look at it and try to be objective, just the way you live is kind of tainted because you can't be objective in certain ways because you didn't know this person all your life. This person didn't know you all your life. Whereas, hey, like how could I see anybody else if I didn't see you? I know you, so how could I see
Yeah,
anybody else? So it's like our culture is so close to what's not. Nepotism comes natural in a way.
yeah, I agree with that. I think like for my as a little boy, I used to ponder on like how could it not be nepotism? Like how could you avoid it? Because like the islands are only so big, right? Like everybody connected to some extent. Maybe we went to the same school
Yeah.
or same church, or even if we don't go to the same church or the same denomination, or if we don't same like it's only I don't know what the number is now, but around what 400,000 of us. It's not a lot, and we
That's it.
condense into, like you said, a small space. So I do think it's challenging to not play into nepotism because your first thought gonna be like, um, oh, I know a boy who could fix the hole in my roof. Like that's the first thing you gotta go do. Not only that, nepotism often come with a little a little discount or a little kickback, right? Like I can make sure you make sure I get a
You
little
scratch
piece of
my
that.
back, I scratch yours. Yeah, yeah.
So that made me think about um corruption. Do you think nepotism? Well, Proof kind of lead with it. Like, it is a form of corruption, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know a group of fellas, right? Uh, the government used to issue landscaping contracts, right, to clean various parks throughout the country.
Yeah, I know four niggas who
Dudes, I mean, had a lawnmower to their
thriving
name,
off
bro,
that.
and get the contract because they
Yeah,
knew somebody. And I'm like,
for sure.
wait, how you do that? So they get the money. I mean, it was kind of smart though. They getting paid for the contract, and then they hiring people to do the work.
Yeah,
I give
for
you a little
sure.
cut
That's what
for
they're
your
doing.
opinion.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say I've known situations where they hiring Haitian nationals to do the work because
Yep,
why? Let's be
cheap
honest.
labor.
You're not paying them minimum wage, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
Cheap
gonna
labor.
hire some cheap labor, pay them a lower cost, pocket more. I don't even have to physically come out of my house really.
You ain't got to do
Um,
nothing. Just collect a check.
and and if we notice, the reality is, um, government officials know this. It's not really a big secret. I think we have a culture built on corruption, and I think I would argue that our biggest form of corruption is favoritism and nepotism. Because like as I think of it, like every job I've ever had, that's why I talk about with the BGCSE thing in the episode about education. Go there and network people. Go meet people and go to Kiwana Club and Toastmasters and stuff because
Rotary and the rest of them. Yeah.
any job I've ever had was not off of no BGCSE. It was off of a connection that I
Someone you
that I
know.
had with someone or someone I had a connection with had a connection with this thing. Like it's a way of life home, And but I do think it's worth exploring. It's a form of corruption because someone else might have could file that thing better than me. Even when I might get a job
Possibly,
from there,
I get that.
uh,
I just remember that. Yes, I just remember that. Yeah. So yeah, but is there good nepotism?
I
Like
mean,
within our culture, can you see good nepotism?
my thing is
I
like,
mean, it's
okay,
corruption either way you cut it. Like, if we
yeah,
gonna be honest, it's corrupt either way you slice it. It's corrupt.
okay, let's say this: you have a little poof, right? A little poofettes, and you have a business, and you're doing good. Your business thriving. You're selling
Mm,
bags to Bamboo Shack for the chicken in the bag. You have a good relationship. You have a multi-million-dollar business, and now you're thinking about retiring, and you want Smurfette number one, or Poofette number one, to take over. Is that wrong? Like, is it
That's
wrong?
me
Is
growing
that
my legacy, bro. I don't see that as nepotism. That's my legacy. I trying to
so? What's
invest in
the
them.
okay? Let's say Poofette don't know the hell she's doing, right?
Hmm.
Poofette never even finished that BTVI course that she said she's gonna do, right? So she don't know exactly what to do in the situation. But like you say, you really trying to protect your legacy, right? So you still gonna give her that and like kind of shadow her, or like you're gonna say, you know what, Poofette, you just in, built for this. I gotta go ahead and hire um Thurgood to come and run the company.
If I'm to be honest,
and,
if it's something that they want, knowing that they ain't qualified, if they want it, I might have to shadow them. I can still give it to them and have to shadow them before I step off the scene fully. But if it's something that they ain't interested in, next candidate, next qualified candidate.
So
Yeah, and you.
Thurgood that been there, he been busting it behind. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
He going to all the government offices, the total life for the business, and you want to let a little that piece of in and give it
yep,
the move back.
yep. You have to take the back seat for a bit.
Unapologetically like that. You don't even.
Yep. I don't even have to think twice about it.
I mean, we see it all around us, right? Like, it ain't really a fun. It ain't really like a rarity. It's a thing, right? Like everybody
Mm.
sort of look out for their own, right? Um, but like the
Mm.
question is that problematic or not? Is that like your business? Like it's just my business. I want my son to run this business after me. That's my decision as the CEO.
Yeah. Yep.
Or is that causing a bigger
Mm.
problem
I
down
mean,
the
it
line?
it it could definitely cause a divide. Not even down the line immediately. It could definitely cause a divide. Like from a cultural standpoint, we've seen it all the time where you gave the example earlier. You have people like you have minister of finance with an education background, or minister of agriculture with a PhD in medicine. Like, you know what I mean? And they get these positions not because they qualified, but because
Mm.
someone either pull them in because I know you, right? Let me give you a hand up, and it happens all the time, and it could definitely, from on a grand scale, it could definitely cause a divide, or even worse, become chaotic for a nation.
For sure.
Okay. So for me, I feel like what I'm seeing now is one that a little bit of nappy is good based on the person who making the decision and their position within the whatever we talk about. That's one, and then two, the the logistics or what the logicness of it basically. So
Hmm.
if it got to make sense. Like one is who making the decision or who being the short caller. It's like you could be the one giving the nepotism because it's your business. So
Hmm.
if it's yours, then ain't really nothing wrong with that. And then if it
Okay.
makes sense that Poufet could do the job, then it makes sense and it's okay. It might be unfair to Thurgood, but one is your business, and two, it makes sense. So could we say now that a nepotism make is is bearable? I wouldn't want to say okay because yeah,
I guess
but it's
yeah.
bearable when it makes sense, and then it depends on the situation or the case.
Yeah, I think that's a good argument. Like even with okay, like in the public sector or in the public context, right? Like
Mm.
you're the elected official. You shouldn't be like favoring your cousin, right? Like you work for the people. Now in a private situation, you have a private company. Um, that decision
Mm.
is a internal, especially if you're a business owner, like you own it outright. Like that's my decision. I
Mm.
have to make a decision that I feel comfortable um, for myself or whatever, right? Like I think you can make a case like that. Um, I think what problematic is once again the idea of like an unfair advantage, right? The idea of like this person
Mm.
literally might not even know how to do the job. They might not even know how to like keep the business afloat. And now you're putting other people, other employees, salaries and livelihoods in the hands of someone because y'all used to play ball together back in '76. Like that could be dangerous.
See, I think the thing too is though we've gotten so used to it. It's like when it happened, it's expected. So we just shrug it off
Mm.
because I'm like, oh, it happened anyway. You know what I mean? So to say it's bearable, I mean, I guess it is to an extent because we expect it to happen. You know, it's been happening so long. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that
And
happened
then make
anyway.
you don't
You know?
do certain things too. Like you don't even
Nothing.
try to let's say if there's a contract open, you don't even gonna try to compete for that contract because you basically um you basically feel like what's the use? Your son gonna get this contract or your
Yeah.
nephew gonna get this contract. That have a lot of like implications, like even in like how we approach things. Like sometimes you don't even try to do things because it's like and I just go in the thing I'm swimming at. Oops.
Yeah.
All
Pretty
right.
much. Pretty much.
I mean,
another thing is like
uh,
another thing is that it could hurt because you giving them the contract and they don't know the first thing about it. When we got people with friggin' master's degree in grass cutting over here, we're gonna have our places looking clean with sculptures or a conch in grass and shepherd needle and thing. But we can't see that because you giving it to your boy. You got one lawnmower and one rusty cutlass. So yeah,
yeah,
so in a way, nepotism get hurt and all. Like
definitely.
like hurt the whole program.
Yeah, but like there are people that like, for instance, like the whole debate about come back to your country and serve your country. There's a lot of people that come back for what? Like, I'm not gonna, even though I'm super qualified, like in this context, I can make 150,000, 200,000 here. I'll come home and with the same exact qualification, same exact degree, and it'll be like, um, your niece gonna get a job over me. Who wants that? Who cares? Like, who's gonna do that? And so you have this attitude of like, I'm not gonna serve my country because my country is self-serving, right? Like, they have some dudes here who given a multi-million-dollar contracts to friends and lovers.
yep, yeah,
And
pretty
Yeah.
much.
what's the point? So
And
just
and that is
So
stay
with
in
our
Alaska.
culture,
yeah, that is the mindset of a lot of educated folks that left the country to go and educate themselves, and it's like, why come back if I'm going to be overlooked and underpaid anyway? You know.
Yeah.
So
okay, so
nepotism,
y'all ever see go bro, let me hear what you want to say.
yeah, nepotism kind of ruins it because you have individuals that have this mindset. Hey, I could do this for my country to put us in a better standard globally. But why would I want to come back if they're just going to overlook me anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One point.
For sure.
Do
Yeah,
you
but
all ever see a point where is where we say nepotism goes in the vault? Like we put away nepotism and we do everything by the books that makes sense for the greater good.
um, like I said, I do think it's challenging based on like the proximity thing. But I
Mm-hmm.
think when we talk about all these things on the show, whatever that thing is, that same like, but this thing can never go away because, but it's just how he get down. It's just how he, is move. Is you? You're a person like you're the person. Proof is a person. As a person, if each of us individually decide like I'm not going to participate in it, it's going to eventually die out because then theoretically your kids ain't going to participate in it, and so it's like everybody have, believe it or not, it sounds cheesy, but like, you have a part to play. And like, if you decide, like, I'm never going to do it, and then I become in a position where I could give contracts and stuff like that, and I break that, and then Proof does the same, and Jay does the same.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, like, it could become less prevalent and could become less of a thing. Um, but but ultimately, I think it's going to be a tricky one to lose because the country just so tiny, but
Yeah, you pretty much be making enemies everywhere you go. I mean, the reality is too though, in order for it to come to an end, you got to call it out when you see it. Like, why are you asking me, um, or why are you denying me this role that I am openly and honestly qualified for to give to somebody, like, but when you see it, you got to call it. I mean, if we looking to end it, you got to call it out.
yeah, for
I
sure. Like,
I know because what's the opposite of nepotism? Like instead of you getting advantage, you get
fairness.
disadvantage.
you get exiled. It sounds like
Oh, for
Yeah.
autism.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That stuff like that is happening all the time for sure. Like you have people who like um because you pick someone else over and then hold on. My next thing is too the opposite of the nepotism when you hire someone from a different country who could do the same thing I could do. Oh, that's bugged me. Because it don't make no sense. It's the stupidest thing in the world. Why would you hire like for instance anyway, I don't gonna say it. I don't gonna say it. I just
And then
I
gotta cough up so much more
I
money.
I've been in other countries and see bus pass with the Ministry of Tourism billboards on them. And let some Bemis do these ads, please. Jeez, it's ridiculous, bro. It's like it's a picture of the beach with a special font on it. It's like, come on, bro. Like, there are Bahamians who could do these things literally better. Not only that, there are Bahamians who, if you're so caught up on hiring someone from abroad, Bahamians live abroad too. Find a Bahamian who don't live in Nassau and cut them the check, for goodness sakes. Like,
Exactly.
the Bahamians who live abroad, the Bahamians who literally shooting movies, they on the same sets as everyone else. Like, the opposite of nepotism is whatever the hell that thing is, where y'all is hire a consultant to tell y'all the same thing proof could tell y'all, and y'all spend 700% more money. Tell him I said that.
I said, do y'all do the due diligence? Like, go to Make Water. Go to Make Water. There's somebody out there. I know we can take it, but there's somebody who can get the job done.
Seriously, bro, you don't know the next solve of cancer could be sitting right in Make Water on one crate right now. Standing on the line to Island Lux trying to pay his bill. We don't know. Like, the point is, we gotta like.
He does keep missing the play.
We gotta give Bahamians the opportunity, because, like, the internet is
qualify the Bahamians of fair jobs.
Bahamians know how to do everything, bro. Everything. Like, think of something, and there's a Bahamian who could do it, and who could do it dope. So, like, whatever the opposite of that is, yeah, like, look for people who could do the job dope and who are Bahamian, because, like, especially from a perspective of, like, MPs and government, like, that's your job, is to serve us, keep the money flowing in the economy. You know what I mean? Keep the money flowing. Find Bahamians who could do the job though. Bahamians amazing. I have to say, I'm just saying that, like, we really different, bro. So, put Bahamians on, cut the check for Bahamians, bro.
Yeah, let's stop being impartial.
Let's send them the money.
If y'all want to have some like, if y'all want to have some nepotism for the people of the country at least.
Yeah, ain't wrong with that.
Right.
No, that, like,
the qualified people. Let's specify the qualified people in the country.
Yeah, not because I was on the campaign trail with you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, I like, for instance, Jay is my boy. We been through some things together, dog. We been through rockouts and all that stuff. But if Jay can't code, I'll give him a coding job, but making the head of coding. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Right. And if Jay mad at me for that, then, like, man, what can I say, right? What can I do? That's it.
I'll let it go.
You'll get over it.
Let it go.
Go learn how to code. Yeah. Go like Kanye and go make 5 beats a day for 3 summers. Like, if you, then we could talk. But yeah, like, just wrapping up this one. Like, in conclusion, what's your advice to the people on nepotism, Jake?
For me, I feel like it's make it make sense. One, understand that with great power comes great responsibility.
Okay, next. Roof, go. Anytime a nigga go into Spider-Man, like, you finish. Go ahead.
I just say choose your battles, man. When it comes to nepotism, most of it sometimes could be beneficial. If you like I say, choose wisely. Make the proper choice. Make the choice that best suits whatever position you're trying to fill, and not because you know somebody. So not everybody that needs a hands up deserve a hand up. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, and then for me, like I say, if you just make a decision individually, like, I'm doing that, then that's us doing our tiny microscopic part of, like, having it stop at some point in the future. So look out for your people, for sure. Look out for the homies, but don't do it to the disadvantage of other people. Like, that ain't cool. So yeah. So yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in.
But make sure that y'all let us know. Y'all let us know y'all nepotism experiences, how you all feel about it. I want to hear from other people in their perspective.
Yeah, nepotism, good, bad, you don't care. Stop liking mine, die my business, whatever. Let us know. how y'all feel about it, and keep listening to these podcasts. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Culture Quest. Till next time, link up.
Yeah. Be out.
Yeah, you see.